Well, hello indie people, and for this video I wanted to talk about autism and anxiety, because anxiety is something I think a lot of us have been feeling, especially recently with the current situation. But this feeling of anxiety, nervousness, all of that sort of stuff is something that I have lived with throughout the course of my life, really. It's never gone away, it's never really subsided up until recently, which is what I want to talk about, just talk about my experiences and also some ways to help. So when it comes to myself and anxiety, pretty much we're best pals, you know. He's always there, you know, just giving me that nervous feeling around people and just around situations and stuff, and I'm there just taking it all in. You know, regardless of how I appear on the surface, I'm always anxious about stuff. I'm always anxious about change and, you know, just all of the stuff that comes with anxiety. But just to talk about what anxiety is, so everyone has a clear definition of the term. Anxiety is the feeling of unease. So you might worry about stuff, in my case, or you might be more fearful to do things. Now, just to say that anxiety is something that we all experience from time to time, you know, and in particular times that anxiety could be heightened, such as, for example, taking a test. But too much anxiety, you know, too much stress or pressure, which leads them to having anxiety, you know, that's not a healthy thing, you know, and it can lead to things being wrong mentally for the person, but also physically. It has multiple repercussions if someone is feeling too stressed. But for myself and other autistic people, anxiety is a comorbidity, so it's something that is linked to our autism. So when it comes to just us presenting, we could appear quite anxious and have anxious feelings about different things. But when it comes to autistic people, we can feel generally anxious, so persistently worrying about a multitude of different things, or we can be socially anxious or have both at the same time. So socially anxious is, you know, just the general fear and anxiety that someone feels when meeting with people or talking to people. I feel generally quite anxious about a lot of different things, but something that has been helping me recently and something that I wanted to talk about in this video today is CBD oil from Naturecan. Naturecan is a CBD company which offers high quality CBD oil, capsules, edibles, like the ones I'm showing on screen now with the gummies. Those are really nice gummies, by the way. You should definitely try them out. Topical creams, massage oils, and a lot more in their beauty range. If you're new to the world of CBD, then do not worry, because Naturecan offers a CBD dosage calculator, so you can actually work out how much CBD you would need in order to get the full effects of the CBD based products. And Naturecan were very kind in sending me a bundle of CBD based products which they produce. So with this in mind, check out the Naturecan website down below. It's international shipping, so you can get this stuff anywhere. And also, if you use the code ANDY15 at checkout, you get 15% off your order. So check out Naturecan down below and use the code ANDY15 for 15% off your order today. And a massive thank you to Naturecan for sending me the CBD products. And also, I'm quite looking forward to working with you guys in the future if anyone from Naturecan is watching this. And anyway, just thank you so much. So when it comes to myself and anxiety, to be honest, the anxiety is both general anxiety and also social based anxiety. Now, I guess for me, when it comes to anxiety, the thing that really triggers it is change of situation, or just change in general. It is really anxiety inducing for me. Even if it's planned, you know, obviously it's great that I know about it, but it's still the nervousness and the worry about what that change is going to bring. Even if it's a good thing, it's not, you know, what I have now. But when it comes to change in general for me, and the reason why it's so crippling, it's the fact that when it's changed, when something has changed, I find it incredibly hard to wrap my brain around it and need to know why. I need to know the why of, you know, this thing. Why is this happening? You know, what's the point of it? And when people don't give you an answer, or it's something like, oh, because someone wants change to happen, It's the most infuriating thing in the world, and that just irritates me. It makes things worse, and I think that's the thing that people don't understand about, you know, autistic people. You know, we get anxious about things, and sometimes it may appear to be unreasonable, but, you know, it's actually because of the situation that we are in, and, you know, people changing things all the time without good reasoning that causes that anxiety, and therefore that negative feeling that we get, but also that negative feeling that we may portray to others. But for me, when it comes to anxiety and ways to help, definitely things like CBD could be a possibility if it's appropriate. CBD for me has been incredibly helpful. Yes, it doesn't necessarily fix all of my, you know, anxiety-based issues that I have, such as, you know, the way I communicate and stuff, but the general feeling of being anxious and nervous and worrying about stuff, that it definitely takes the edge off. I can definitely say that for certain. But also, I guess you can include therapies in this kind of category along with the CBD, as well as obviously medication things. But obviously with therapies, medication, all that stuff, go and talk to your medical professional, because obviously that's what they're trained there, and that's what they actually get paid for. Go and speak to them. I'm just a guy who talks in his bedroom with toys in the background. I mean, yes, I'm an autistic person, but I don't have all the answers for everything. But something that I do know, however, and something that does help me in terms of my anxiety, is understanding my triggers. So understanding what triggers you in terms of your anxiety. Like I said, change for me, massive trigger. Basically, keep change out of my house or wherever I am in the general vicinity. It's just not something I cope with very well. However, if I know the change is coming, I can easily prepare for it and make the appropriate arrangements. So for example, if I know, just as an example, I'm going to move house in a couple of weeks' time, you know, and I've got all of this stuff going on, such as work, such as YouTube, for example, I can plan ahead, plan videos, you know, and maybe take time off work if it's, you know, if I have the time available to me, you know, and just preparing for the change to happen. And I think for a lot of us, you know, understanding what triggers us can be really helpful. I think just understanding, you know, what we can do to be proactive about it, so we're not crippled by that anxiety. And also, if other people that we obviously trust know what triggers us, you know, that can also be helpful as well. So, you know, they can help us in reducing that anxiety as well. Now, another thing that can help in terms of relieving anxiety is being able to self-soothe and just generally stimming. Now, if you don't know what stimming is, basically stimming for autistic people, and just people in general, to be honest, but specifically for autistic people, it's a way of, you know, just regulating our emotions, and, you know, we just do it in multiple circumstances, whether we are happy or frustrated. But I think for me, I get really kind of agitated when I'm anxious, and for me, something that does help is being able to let that anxiety out. So for me, sometimes I will hum. Sometimes, you know, if I'm feeling quite restless, I will just do drum movements with my hands, because I want to be a drummer and I want to get paid for magically drumming on stuff, because that is just my jam. Boom! But, you know, stimming in general can be incredibly helpful and healthy for autistic people to do. Another thing which kind of links in with understanding my triggers and things, adapting your environment so it makes you feel less anxious. Now, I'm going to use work as an example, because at home, I don't really care. It's my safe space. I don't really, you know, have to pretend to be clean or professional at home unless people come round. At work, I leave things in a certain place. I file things in a certain way. I have my desk a certain way. I have objects in certain places. That is me adapting my environment for me to feel comfortable in it. And I guess one of the reasons how I found out this was a trigger for me was definitely in my previous job, because I used to desk hop all of the time. and for me it was not helpful at all. It made zero sense to me, and I can never feel settled, and I could never have things the way that I wanted them to, which again, I just don't see the point of desk hopping. And please, companies, if you're watching this, just don't do it. I just think it's utterly pointless. At the job that I'm currently in, I have my own desk, and the things that I have on my desk are there for me, and you know, it's all adapted to me to be able to actually do my job and feel comfortable doing my job, and you know, whatever else. So really adapting your environment to make you feel less anxious, and you know, having certain things in place to make you feel less anxious that are on your desk or at home or whatever can be incredibly helpful when it comes to relieving anxiety. But if you enjoyed this video, give this a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to see more videos from me. Stay you, stay indie, and I'll see you next time.